Hey everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable podcast. It is Friday, May 15th. TGI. Well, the NFL schedule just was released yesterday. We got dribs and drabs during the week of upcoming games, international games, and so forth. But the full schedule was released last night. So I printed out a copy and I want to go over the Eagles schedule. Everybody's doing it. Wins and losses, predictions, and we'll talk about some quirks in the schedule too. And as time goes on, we'll talk about quirks in the overall schedule too. But this is what I do. Okay, there's all kinds of printable schedules out there, all kinds of grids. If you're into fantasy football, there's schedules especially for that. If you're into gambling, betting, you schedule for that with the lines. There's all kinds of stuff. There's your basic week to week schedule. I like the grid schedules, which show the entire season at a glance. And I like the ones in color so that you can pick and choose your Sunday night football games, your Monday night football game. You know, there is a football game every night now, other than Tuesdays. Can you believe that? And sooner or later, we're going to have games on Tuesdays too. I mean, we have two different Wednesdays that are of NFL football. The night before Thanksgiving, they're doing a Wednesday night football there, and another night, Wednesday night during the season. But I wanted to show you the schedule. This is what I do. You see the grid? Isn't it nice? Huh? Did you ever see anything so beautiful in your life? Look at that. Look at that. And there, you've got your color there and everything. So it's easy to pick out the games. Now, if you want to schedule like this, which I think is easiest to read, you just go to, I got my glasses on this. Yeah, I'm 118 years old after all. You go to, look, there it is, Sharp Football Analysis. Sharp Football. And this is in no way promotion for them. I just love the schedule, because I looked through it and ESPN, all CBS Sports, Sporting News, they all have grid schedules out, weekly schedules. A lot of them are just in black and white, your basic schedule. So let's go over the schedule, huh? We do a lot of it before yesterday, but it's just official. So, week one, people start at home and they're playing Washington. Now, Washington, uh, they're improved. Jaden Daniels is back from injury. I mean, this is a Washington team that you got to remember 2 years ago made it to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles. So could be a dangerous team. They drafted Sonny Styles in the first round of the draft. Good linebacker. Let's see how they do. I think the Eagles take them in the game. In fact, under Nick Sirianni, the Eagles have never lost in week one under Nick Sirianni. So there you go. Week two, so that's 1-0. Week two, Eagles go down to Tennessee, Nashville. Play the Titans down there. Well, Titans aren't very good. But it looks like, is that Tennessee's home opener? Let me just checking. No. Tennessee opens at home in week one against the Jets. So I don't know. I mean, the Eagles are still too good. They're going to beat Tennessee, even if it's down in Tennessee. So they're going to start the year at 2-0. Good start. We want the Birds to be off to a fast start. Stockpile those wins. Stockpile those wins, my friend, before the schedule gets tougher. I'll say one thing about this Eagles schedule. It's very well balanced. So, last year we had here a lot of NFC East games in December. We've had that little stretch. Remember when they went up to Buffalo? They went up to Green Bay. and they happen to win those games. That's the thing about the schedule. What they look intimidating when the schedule comes out, may not turn out that way during the season. Teams are better than what you thought, teams are worse than what you thought. A lot has to do with the weather. So but this year it looks like the schedule a little bit more balanced. You don't have your gauntlet of tough teams like week to week. And remember last year, the Eagles did not have back-to-back home games. They were the only team in the NFL not to have back-to-back home games. This year it's different. All right, let's go through the schedule. So we got the Eagles going 2-0 to start the season. Now, they go to Chicago, which is a Monday night football game in week 3. Now, I've seen people predict Chicago's going to win this game, and they might. I mean, Chicago is the reigning NFC Central champ. Monday night football, it's in Chicago. The weather's still going to be good. You're not going to have to worry about that. But to me, the Bears have to prove it. They got to prove that they're a legitimate playoff team this season. They played well last year. Remember they came into Philadelphia on Black Friday afternoon and beat the Eagles on Black Friday. And if you remember correctly, they did it. They ran the ball. They ran the ball down the Eagles' throats in Philadelphia that game. Remember that? Eagles couldn't stop the run. I have a sneaky suspicion that the Eagles get revenge. I think the Eagles win that game in Chicago on Monday night. And look at me. I'm an Eagles fan. Yeah, but I think when we go through the schedule, I'm going to be very objective too. So, but I really, really think the Eagles are better than the Bears, and I think it'll be an interesting year for the Bears. I think the Bears, after winning the Central, they're not going to surprise anybody this year. I mean, you got the Lions, you've got the Vikings, you've got the Packers in that division, all going to be hunting for Honey Bear. and they're all going to be, the Bears are going to have a target on them this year. That's what I said. They've got a tougher schedule, first place schedule. So let's see if the Bears are legit or not, right? So I think Eagles start off 3. In week 4, very, very interesting game. The Rams coming to Philadelphia. Now, a lot of people feel the Rams are the class in the NFC. They felt, well, the Rams really should have went to the Super Bowl last year. They've got it all. The Rams got that high octane offense. They've got a great defense. Sean McVay, good coach. You think the Rams, always losing films. In fact, Nick Sirianni is undefeated against Sean McVay. How about that? So, but the weather is still going to be good. It's the first week in October. It's a 1:00 game on a Sunday. Eagles have quite a few 1:00 games, which is great, especially if you're seeing a game in Philadelphia. I love the 1:00 games. You're there, the weather's good, you get out of there, right? None of this, if you've been to the lake, it's tough to get out of late at night. I love the Sunday night, Monday night football games, Thursday night, don't get me wrong, but it's just the traffic is not good. 4:25 games are cool too, but the 1:00 games are cool. Anyway, the Rams coming. Their body clock is going to be off because it's going to be like 10:00 in the morning, LA time. They got to make the trip across the country, play at 10 a.m. their time, play the tough opponent in the Eagles in Philadelphia, where they haven't had much luck. The good thing for the Rams is we'll probably unless we got a really, really fluky first week in October snowstorm. The weather is probably good. And that we've used our weather to our advantage in the playoffs against West Coast teams like the Rams, dome teams like the Rams, who have to come into Philadelphia. That's the advantage. That's why I don't think the Eagles should get a dome stadium if they decide to move on from Lincoln Financial Field. That's an advantage. You get these West Coast dome teams coming in January, where it's cold and windy and snowy, and but a lot of these teams can't take that. They can't take that. So, but there should be no weather problems with the Rams coming in. Now, the thing of it is, if you remember last year when the Rams came in, they should have won that game. Do you remember Jordan Davis blocked that field goal right at the gun and ran that sucker back for a touchdown? Remember that game? Wow. I thought for sure Rams were going to win this game, but what like a miracle play at the end, So, I said I'm a homer, but I'm realistic too. I actually think the Rams are going to win. I do. I just feel that the Rams are due to win in Philadelphia. Payback the Eagles. I mean, we're not talking about a team here, like an Arizona Cardinals coming in and upset the Eagles. We're talking about a good Rams team. So, I don't know. I just get the funny feeling the Rams are going to come in and play. So, okay, 3-1. And then after that, week 4, we've got the Eagles. There it is. We've got the Eagles going. Oh, here. They're playing Jacksonville. No wonder I couldn't find it. They're playing Jacksonville in London. That's right, week 5. Jacksonville and London. Eagles have played in London, but they haven't played there since 2018. It'll be 8 years. They're not playing at Wembley, so they're never playing at the other stadium in London. And, even though the Jacksonville Jaguars are used to playing in London, in fact, this is their 2-week stretch. They're playing 2 weeks, so they don't have to travel back and forth. 2 games in London. I think the Eagles are just too good to beat them. The Jacksonville Jaguars are good, don't get me wrong. Trevor Lawrence, they're an up-and-coming team, but I still think they're too good. And they will beat the Jaguars and go 4-1 in the season. Now, the Eagles come back home. And normally, when teams come back home from London, or Germany, or wherever, they'll have a bye so they can, with the travel log and travel and coming home, all that travel, rest up from not this year. I don't know whether the Eagles wanted it this way or whether the NFL decided that all the wisdom not to give the Eagles a bye the week after their London trip. So here you go. You got the Eagles playing Carolina at home the very next week. Now, Carolina's not a bad team. We saw that last year. We saw Carolina made the playoffs, believe it or not. And they're getting better. They're getting better. Now they have our Jalen Phillips down. Oh, South Carolina, the edge rusher. And I think the Eagles are a better team than the Panthers. I think if they put the pressure on the Panthers, they could hold the Panthers down. I don't know. I just think the Panthers are coming off a bye week. The Eagles are coming off of that London game. I just think the Panthers are going to win that. Now you're saying that the Eagles will lose 2 home games in a row? Yeah, so did. It happens. It happens. I don't know. Maybe the Eagles will surprise us and come back, and the jet lag won't bother them as much. But I don't know. I just got the feeling maybe in the 4th quarter they're going to start to feel it, especially playing against a refreshed Panthers team. All right. So if that's That's true. And if Carolina wins that game, the Eagles will be 4-2, coming off of that pick. All right, then the Eagles have a Monday night football game, a little extra preparation time for Dallas. Dallas is coming in. So there you go. Big Monday night football game. A lot of people have high hopes for Dallas this year. Did you see Joe Buck? He's this Nostradamus or something. Picked the Cowboys and the Bills in the Super Bowl. No, the Joe Buck. Come on, you don't know anything. Dallas, they maybe improved a little bit, but they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. The other thing is, even if Dallas has a good team, they choke. They get in the playoffs, they have a home game, they choke. Like dogs, they choke. So I just don't see it. I can see the Bills getting to the Super Bowl. It's about time. But Dallas, I don't see it. Anyway, Dallas invades Monday Night Football, and I got to go Eagles at home. I got to go Eagles. You figure they're going to split these games, unless one team is really dominant than the other. And I think Eagles are going to lose in Dallas on Thanksgiving. So I would say Eagles win at home Monday Night Football, and they go 5-2 on the season up until, okay, 5-2. And then we have they're at Washington. Well, okay, if we're going to say the split thing, we're going to give that game to Washington, because you would figure that Washington isn't going to get off as good of a start in the NFC East, and they're not really going to need that game. So I would say, okay, we're down in Washington, give it to Washington, okay, and we will go 5-3 again in the first 8 games. Then then the Eagles go to, no, they play the Giants at home. The Giants at home. And, Giants are much improved. We saw what the Giants did last year. This Jackson Dart, young exciting quarterback. They've got Scatterboom, and Neighbors should be back, and improved defense, better coach, Harbaugh, right? Harbaugh is coming out. Giants are going to be done. Giants are going to be done. But are you going to be good enough to beat the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field? That's a 1:00 game. And I think the Eagles pull soon. I think the Eagles, especially since they've been losing at home, I have them losing twice already. I think the Eagles win that game and go 6-3 on the season. Okay. After the Giant game, the Eagles have their bye in week 10, which isn't bad. Not exactly halfway through, but not bad. Week 10. And then they come back with another home game against Pittsburgh, that interstate rivalry game. Yeah. Pittsburgh never wins in Philadelphia. Never. So who's going to be the quarterback for Pittsburgh by then? Is Aaron Rodgers still going to be the starter? Or will the Penn State guy, Drew Rattler, is he going to be the starter? Interesting. Well, Steelers, coming off the playoff season, how are they going to play? Well, coming in Philly. And I think it was that game. And then I think it was to go 7-3 on the season. So your first 10 games has to be like the Eagles are 7-3. Not bad. I'll take that. I'll take it. Then after Pittsburgh, we go to Dallas on Thanksgiving. And Dallas has won on Thanksgiving 5 years in a row. It's always tough to put games that Dallas on Thanksgiving. And of course, they always have a home game as the Lions. And since I have beating the Cowboys early in the season in Philadelphia, I've got the Cowboys winning down in Dallas for Thanksgiving Day. What a game it's going to be. 4:30. All eyes will be on Eagles Cowboys, as it should be. It's going to be a huge audience up next to me. Get done with your turkey. You have your dinner early. You just sit back, lay back, whatever. All full, happy, sassy, and happy. And you have your pumpkin pie beside you, and you watching them. That that's beautiful. That's the way to kick off the holiday season. Huh? Right there. Thanksgiving is going to be a hell of a this year. You know, great Thanksgiving. Look, but there it is. Well, you got your Eagles in Dallas going, right? And then don't forget, you've got your the Bears going to the Lions that 12:30 game. Another interdivisional team. And wow, you've got the Bears coming off of an NFC Central title, and you've got the Lions, who a lot of people think are going to come back and retake NFC Central. So what a game to whet your appetite for Thanksgiving. And that Thanksgiving night, you've got Kansas City hosting you've got Kansas City at Buffalo, right? Is that to be looking for? Yes. Kansas City at Buffalo. Wow. What a game that's going to be, huh? Wow, you got the Chiefs invading the Bills. As you know, I mean, to go the way we've seen Patrick Mahomes, hopefully he's okay about that, go into Buffalo and win. And we've seen the opposite. We've seen the Bills take out the Chiefs. Usually the Bills take out the Chiefs during the regular season. Chiefs get their revenge in the playoffs. And don't forget, Thanksgiving night game in Buffalo could be cold. I'm just saying, could be cold. We don't know what the weather's going to be. New stadium, right across where the old stadium is. Beautiful new stadium up in Buffalo. Open air. Some of it is protected for the fans up there. Those loyal fans of the Buffalo have suffered all these years of all that snow, wind, and cold. But I give Buffalo credit. They have a brand new spanking stadium, and they didn't have a dome. If anybody needs a dome, it's Buffalo with the bad weather they get in the wintertime. But no, they're not. They don't have a dome. It makes sense. They want to. They're about the freaking Super Bowl hosting them. Nobody's going to go to Buffalo for the Super Bowl anyway. What else is there to do up there? So, they're taking advantage of the weather. Because we got the advantage, especially when we have a warm weather team like Miami coming up here in the winter time. We're going to use our advantage. That's what Eagles, don't be stupid. I know Jeffrey Lurie wants a Super Bowl so bad in Philadelphia that they're thinking about a dome stadium. But come on, maybe like one of these stadiums with the hole in the roof or something that the fans are protected from the elements, the bad weather, but you still have that outdoors feel, just to annoy the visiting team, obviously. Okay. So we got the Eagles losing to Dallas in week 12. That's going to be in like 8-4, 8-4. Okay, so let's pick up the schedule. Okay. Then the Eagles go to Arizona in 13. Well, you would think in 13, the Cardinals are still in the room. Self-serving for this, right? The Eagles they've had a mixed bag. Remember they lost the playoff game out there back we got one. And oh my God, listen to that one. But still a lot. I like the Eagles to go out to the desert, take care of business. I mean, we're getting down to the grind. This is the second half of the season. Eagles got their nose to the grindstone. They need to pile up the wins in order to, don't forget, gotta take the division. Take the division, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. And then you're playing for your playoff seeding, which is important any way you look at it, because if you have home field advantage all the way through the playoffs, especially if the road has to go through stone earth from wow, what are you going to do? So, I think you must get that in like 4 on the season. All right, there. And then the Eagles have a stretch of 3 home games. Last 3 home games in the regular season. Bang, bang, bang. When Indianapolis coming. The interesting thing about this is Sean Strike leads the country was yes, she is. Uh, Sean Striking's coming back. Good coach. First time he's coaching against Syria. It's the same coaching staff. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the Colts. The Colts looked. Remember, the Colts got off to a really good start last year. They were world leaders. People were talking about the Colts going to the Super Bowl. Remember that? And they do have a good personnel out there. I mean, Daniel Jones is put out of his mind. Jonathan Taylor, the running back. They've got some really good players in there. But they eventually stumbled. Daniel Jones got hurt. And that was it for the Colts. Well, I don't know. Are the Colts going to be up there this year? See, that's my point. We could look at the schedule now. But once we get to that week, Eagles, Colts, and the whole scenario could be changed. You might have a really good Colts team. You might have a stinky Colts team. Same with the Eagles. So we don't know. But I'm going to say, yes, honey, I'm going to say Eagles win that game at home again. And go, what do we have? 10-4 now? 10-4, am I missing the game? 9-4, whatever. Okay. Yes. Then they have another home game. Next is a Saturday night affair against the world champion, Seattle Seahawks. Well, Seattle Seahawks were coming in. And a week before Christmas, Saturday. And, here's the way I would do it. Again, it's a situation we don't know how big Seattle's going to be. And we're going to have to cross the country, play in Philadelphia, which you're not used to. Certainly the week before Christmas is going to be cold. Coming off a Super Bowl, I don't have high hopes for Seattle. I certainly don't think Seattle's going to win the Super Bowl again, let alone get there. They were a good team last year, needless to say, especially with defense. I don't think they're a dynasty team. I don't think they're going back. But as I said, I think the class in the NFC West is going to be the Rams. Wait and see, my friends. The Rams. So saying that, we don't know. We don't know how important this game is going to be. I just think they must beat the Seahawks or the roll. Now that very interesting, last regular season home game is on Christmas against the Houston Texans. Number one, we know Houston's probably good. They were good last year. They were great defense. They were one of the finest defenses in the Christmas Eve. What a prenatal games. Yeah. For the people who celebrate Christmas Eve, church Christmas Eve, exchange presents on Christmas Eve, have a big dinner on Christmas Eve. There are a lot of people that like to celebrate their Christmas holiday and Christmas Eve. This is going to feel a whole monkey wrench into the thing. A lot of people will be attending that game. It's an 8:15 game. Oh, it's a Thursday night game. So we're probably not going to get on there until another finish. I mean, Santa will be flying the snows by the time we get out and looking for check. Yeah. You're dragging your ass in of the game at 2, 3 in the morning, and Santa's was only presents. Did that. So anyway, um, so again, we don't know how important this is going to be. I mean, you kind of got to figure Houston is going to still be in there, especially with the division and everything. I mean, who's going to challenge them? The Jaguars again, the Colts, maybe, we don't. So I still think Eagles win home game Christmas Eve. Give Merry Christmas from Eagles fans, and they win it. So we're going to go up to 11, 11 or 12, 12, 12, whatever, 12 and 12 and 3, 12 and 4. I got the Eagles then week 17, Eagles go to San Francisco. And that is a Sunday night football game. Now, is that again? Is that game going back? I would hope, especially the Eagles stuff, Eagles have the division wrapped up. Of course, they could be playing for the #1 seed. But 49ers, you would think would be improved this year. The Cavs will be still have a good team. But we got to get to. I would think that they're playing at home, advantage for them. Okay, I'll give it to the 49ers. I would think maybe they need to win that kind of the leaders. Last game of the season, Eagles go to New York, Meadowlands from the Giants up there. My thinking is, even though the Eagles have beat them earlier in the season, Eagles win again. And I mean, this game could go. This could be a leading game because if the Eagles have the division wrapped up, if they're cemented into their seed in the NFC, just like last year, they're not going to really need to get. The chances are neither will the Giants. I'm thinking the Giants are going to be better, but they're not going to be good enough. So here's the thing. Giants may play harder because the Eagles got lesser starters. Giants may play their starters. We don't know. I mean, Giants may need that game to slip into the wild. Right? You would think the Giants would win that game. I still think it should go. Unless they go to the start. So anyway, it comes down to 17 games and the Eagles go 12. Most people that I've seen so far have the Eagles go 6, which could be either way. To me, I think it's 11 and a half is sort of the yardstick for me. Anything less than that, I think we kind of be disappointed. The Eagles only win 10 games this year, or 9 games. I would be disappointed. I would. Because I like the schedule. I think the schedule is a little easier than it was last year. Anything over 11.5. Eagles win 12, 13, dare I say 14 games, is it's gravy. Gravy for the Eagles. Certainly, if the Eagles win 13 games, chances are they're going to get the bye. The #1 seed in the NFC, which would be in total. So my thinking is Eagles go 12-5, win the NFC East. Before you get the #1 seed in the NFC, and then we don't know how the Rams are going to play. Tiebreakers are key. If the Eagles lose that game at home to the Rams early in the season, will that come back to haunt the Eagles? I'm just saying. Eagles do not play the Lions this year. They do play the Bears. NFC South, Panthers. I don't think it's going to play. So I think that the key game is that Rams game. I really think that Rams game is key game because that may have a lot to do with their seed. Because you got to figure that says both the Eagles and the Bills are going to be teams, either as division winners or wild card teams. And if they do, that head-to-head matchup in week 4 in Philadelphia, first week of October, is going to be huge. That's the key win. Eagles. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Because all of this could change. God forbid an injury. We know the Eagles were most likely trade AJ now. June the 1st or soon. But we'll only get that. We'll only get a solid player back. We'll only get a number 1 draft pick back. Only number 1 draft pick for next year's draft, 27, not 28. We'll find out. But it's an interesting offseason, isn't it? The NFL is 365 days a year. That's why I said NFL haven't played a game since February, and we got all this going, right? The draft, the schedule, the mini camps are going, and the training camp. Then before we know it, beginning of September, through Labor Day, and here's the season, right? So NFL is 365. It's totally organ has changed. And a lot and look at this, guys, before I not even good. Look at this. Played in Germany, England, Brazil, another Brazil, Australia, shit. That's the other Wednesday industry. And Mexico. All over the place. So I mean, this is the NFL. NFL's brand plan is to go global. I mean, before you know it, my prediction, I may not be around to see it. There's going to be a European or what they call international division in the NFL. You're going to have your basic teams, but you're going to have maybe 4 teams, maybe 5 teams in international. A team in London, a team in Germany, a team in Mexico, right? Maybe a team in Asia. And then they're going to all be in the same division, play against each other, and then they may have road trips where they come here to the States for 2 or 3 weeks, the safe travel, go back home for 2 weeks. I'm here 2 or 3 weeks. And that's the only way you can do it. You know, well, do we have the Concorde anymore? I mean, anybody remember the Concorde? That was that supersonic jet that got you across from London to New York with Philadelphia in like 3 hours or something, plus, you know. I don't think the Concorde existed. Well, they bring it back, right? You remember Live Aid when they had Philly and London? Phil Collins, of all people, took the Concorde that day. He played a set in London at Wembley Stadium in the morning at our time, afternoon their time. He jumped onto the Concorde, flew across the ocean, got here in Philly, JFK Stadium, played a set in the evening here in Philadelphia. Every guy did. I would think if the NFL ever goes global like that, you'd have to think we're going to come back or some super show. Get these players back and forth, right? But it's going that way because you're going to have all this streaming and pay. That's all going to kick in when we see it now. When that more and more playoff games are being streamed on Netflix, on Prime Video, you know. I just don't want to be around to see the Super Bowl on streaming. You're going to have to pay an extra $49.99 just to see the freaking Super Bowl. And all these years, it's been for free, you know? And people say, oh, another movie happened. Oh, really? Never said never. But it's going that way. NFL is going global. We're going to see more and more of it. We're not going back to the days when we didn't have any national games. The cat is out of the bag, so to speak. And it's not going in that. If anything, you allow more cats to live down the road. Right. So that's just the way it is. Either you accept it, you love the NFL like we all do, and you move on, right? And go with the flow because that's what you're going to do, fight it. And the NFL being the billion dollar organization industry that it is, they don't care about you. Extra $20 that we pay. They care about us making money and expanding them. So that's what it's going to be. So my fighting will just go to flow and enjoy. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. The Phillies were on today playing the Buccos, the Pirates weekend series in Pittsburgh. Unusual. Usually the Phillies are out there in July or so. I went trip to Pittsburgh. We took 2 or 3 in Boston, then going to Pittsburgh. It should be an interesting series because Sunday, Paul Skeens, who was throwing a perfect game for the Pirates, is pitching against the Phillies. Zach Wheeler against Paul Skeens on Sunday. That's going to be good. And then, of course, you got your NBA playoff games, your NHL playoff games still going on, right? And you got your other baseball. And it's just a great time. Your golf, PGA, right around in my backyard practically. Well, looks like Scotty Scheffler is going to take that. He's already got most of the stuff. So I ain't got a lot going on, which is good. It keeps it interesting. Everybody enjoy yourself. It's fun. But turning up the heat on the East Coast. Every weekend, next week, we have 4 days in a row where we're in the 90s. Get those girls in. That suntan emotion up. It's like that. The other thing is, we never have any spring. We're 75-degree days. We haven't had it. What the hell? So, okay. No birds, no fills, talk these ticket.